Facebook on my personal profile, Facebook on the campaign page, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I think that's all the locations. And in a second, TikTok. Hey, my name's Jared Budlong. I'm running as an independent candidate for governor here in Alabama. Joining me today is my campaign manager, Taylor. We are
Hey.
having one of our first campaign strategy meetings in a new organized fashion. So we are going to be trying to get the hang of things as we go. This is an open meeting, so like literally if you go to my website, there is a Google Meet link. You can be on this meeting if you'd like to. I ask you to be respectful, but we're going to be having them every week. So every Saturday, 9 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock, we're actually going to jump into the field organization or field organizing meeting where we talk about actually putting boots on the ground, so to speak, trying to get in front of more people in person or digitally, but in person is the ideal. And then on Tuesday nights at, I think 7 is the time. It's on the website. Go check. But that is our policy meeting. So that's what we will be meeting to discuss policy. If something urgent comes up during any of these 3 meetings, then it will take over. Like I like structure, but topical conversation is more important than structure most of the time. So we may knock out a few things if something comes up, and then go straight into whatever is topical. So hang out with me for just a second. I'm going to let people start jumping in. If you have something to say, you should be able to post some comments on any of those platforms. They should show up here on the stream. I'm going to leave that hidden until people start commenting. If it's relevant, I will pop it up on the screen. But I am going to get TikTok streaming real quick because that one has the most reach to like random people that I'm already not connected to, unlike the platforms that you are probably watching it on. You're probably already connected to me. So let's see. Yeah, I should be good. Make sure my headset's connected. I don't have anybody jumping on the meeting, so that should be fine. I'm going to turn off gifts because I'm not here to make money. Plus, TikTok doesn't give you a whole lot of money. Let's see. Comments are fine, but we do not want invites. So how do I don't remember how to turn that off. So we'll just have to ignore any invites that come in. So we're, I think we're going live now. Look at that. So let's use our green screen shenanigans, recenter me into the middle of the screen. Cool. I think we are good. Yeah, we're everywhere. So TikTok, what's up? We're having a campaign strategy meeting.
TikTok.
Come hang out with us. Taylor, if you'll turn your TikTok volume down, that would be great.
I just did, yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I think we're good. So I'm going to take the...
God, give me a second, Jared.
I'm going to take the overlay off on the bottom. Let's see. Yeah, and that ticker is kind of distracting. Tell you what, we can test comments that way. If you find the ticker at the very bottom, if you're on all the platforms except TikTok, if you find that distracting, let me know and I'll turn it off. But for now, it's a good reminder. So... yeah, so strategy. So if anybody's not familiar, I'm running as an independent, and I am running on a very grassroots, shoestring, like for the people, by the people type campaign. So what that means is I am looking for as much help from as many people who want to see change in our state. And that is, either by engaging on social media, sharing on social media, sharing with your friends in person. That's the free type. That's the kind you can just do for free, which is great. If you want to engage and help more, you can donate. Obviously, money helps because then we can pay for services like Restream, like we're doing right now. And we can also start doing some actual advertising. If Facebook's being wonky, still trying to fix the paperwork there. But eventually we can get out some digital ads. You will never see a TV ad from me. Like there's not enough money. It won't happen, but other platforms we could. So things like Pandora, actually I take that back. I don't think Pandora does political ads, but Facebook, Snapchat, I think, Instagram definitely because it's part of Facebook. TikTok's a no, found that out. And so we use that money for advertising where possible. And then also things like yard signs. So right now we are charging people for those yard signs because I don't have a pocket full of cash that I can pay for yard signs up front and then distribute out to people. So we are doing those at a slight margin so that it will fund the campaign a little bit, but really it's basically paying for those yard signs. So Bill Smith, I don't What percent of the votes? I have no idea. We'll find out. A third of people didn't vote in 2020, so I'm aiming for a third because it's 1.4 million people, and that would be amazing. Lady Danielle, check the website. There's a spot to buy merch, and yard signs fall under merch at this point. Merch and swag.
So I was thinking, do you think it's possible that we can sell bulk yard signs and stuff for people who just want to get, like, for people who can afford, like, instead of purchasing the package? I haven't checked out the website. I'm a terrible person. Is that an option?
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially the way this ordering process works. Is they come in they print on a big sheet of that corrugated plastic, and then they cut it into the yard signs, and we have to order at least one sheet. So that's what that bulk order is, or that batch rather. You can order more than one of those, and they will get drop shipped to your location. So if you want to order 50 signs, well, it's a multiple of 16, so whatever that turns into, 64. You can order those for sure. Like you can order as many as you can afford, or the thing that I've been had a couple people do so far is they don't, because we're talking to average citizens, and right now the economy sucks. So like I get that everybody doesn't have spare cash, fully understand. What I've had a few people do is get together with some friends, put $16 or $10 each, 16 people, and order a batch, and then just distribute them themselves in their community, and then they can put them out in their yards. So that's actually an option. So that's something we can do. Yeah. TikTok, just for the record, like this is a campaign meeting. I'm doing an open, like in front of everybody campaign meeting. Like I get that it's kind of funny because you don't see it before, but that's what we're here for. So anyway, I'm not going to see, I'm going to try and pay attention to your questions and comments, but the main focus of this is to talk about strategy. So if you have ideas to help us out, please put them in the comments. Ideally, you could go to the website and join the meeting. Like it's literally a Google Meet meeting. You can come join and see the rest of the conversation. So I hope you can hear Taylor. But if not, let me know in the comments on TikTok. You should be able to.
If not, you're missing out because I'm a delight. Yeah. So also there's something in Birmingham that I think I've mentioned to you before is Drag Queen Bingo, and you can do an ad for it. I think it's $100 for an ad. But I think my sister-in-law said it's pretty packed out. So if we want to do that.
What does that ad entail? Like, is it printed on their
pamphlets type thing?
Is it like a shout out during the
I think it may be. I have not been Daily has, so I may double check with her. But I know for sure it's on there. There is a printed version on their like packet or whatever, so people will see it. They can see, see your thing. If you wanted, you may be even able to put like the.
Somebody in the comments in TikTok said, yeah, it's printed in the book and you're shouted out because you're sponsoring a game. So somebody here has gone to those. Sweet. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate the confirmation. So I'll have Taylor reach out to them and figure out how we need to do that. I don't know how they want payments. So Lisa, voting for Democrats, if you want to and you fully support the Democratic candidates, then you are welcome to vote for them. I will point out one thing that is super relevant to yesterday. The governor candidate in Alabama who is running as a Democrat is pro-life. So I'm not. I am pro-abortion, and that ruffles some feathers, and that's fine. I don't really care because I believe that's a healthcare right. Like people should have that. So if you believe in abortions and pro-choice or pro-abortion, however you want to phrase it for yourself, be wary of your candidates because they don't all believe what you do. So I don't think you should vote along party lines. It's a bad idea. So.
And also, on the end or the back of yesterday, Alabama's restrictions are there. It does not provide an exception for rape and incest. And remember, you can start your period and be fertile as young as 7 years old. Yep. I mean, it's. So just remember that rape and incest is not a part of it. And that does affect children.
Yep, 100%. So I'm as far right as it gets, but I'm pro-choice. That's okay. So this is off topic, but it's fine. It's engagement. Proud American. I would love for you to go to politicalcompass.com, fill that out, and then double check that you're as far right as you think you are. That would be my suggestion. So
I'm curious
Yeah, I would
to
agree,
hear that.
except it more about than abortion. Yeah, the election is more about abortion. Yeah, 100%. I was just letting people know because of yesterday. Like again, I don't think people should be one party or sorry one issue voters. I don't think that shouldn't be a thing. Um, it's getting really close because this Roe v. Wade thing um, it wasn't just about abortions. Like it's actually about privacy. So it causes a lot more problems than just abortion. It has to do with privacy rights, which affects a whole bunch of stuff. So Jacob actually on Facebook brought up a good question. Doesn't the new Alabama law also ban the day after pill? Um, I believe that is true. I am not a lawyer, but I would double check that bill. It essentially says any type of abortion post conception, unless there are like very few exceptions. It's things like um, if there's a known anomaly that's going to cause the baby, if it were to go to full term and become a baby, it would not survive. And if the mother's life is in danger, and I think there's one more, but it's very very limited in scope. So like ectopic pregnancy is a great example. Like that. Um, there's no possible way that is a fruitful pregnancy. Like it isn't. Um, the website Rebecca is in my bio, so if you click my image up on TikTok, you can view the website. It's jaredalgov.org. Back the Beard is like $7,000 to buy, so it didn't happen.
I do want to point out a little bit of this is not technically campaign, but I do want to point out a little bit of science regarding the morning after pill just to clarify any confusion because I know that years ago Hobby Lobby was, in a court case regarding the morning after pill. So I do want to point out that the morning after pill um, will prevent implantation. Um, that is why it is considered by Hobby Lobby to be an abortifacient, is because the egg may already be fertilized,
Okay.
but it has not implanted into the uterus yet. And so it prevents the implantation, much the same as like an IUD. So IUDs could possibly be next because they prevent the implantation, not fertilization. Um, so do remember that. Hey, Ian.
My 5 year old's coming to hang out with us. Um, so fun guy Josh. So this is not the meeting for that. He's asking. I assume he. Sorry, I didn't check your profile. Probably should check. You don't mention, so I'm going to go with he. It's an assumption on my end. If you want me to call you they them, let me know. Or he she. It's cool. Whatever you go by. Make my case or make a case that I'm better than the current governor. Go check my website for my platform and make your decision from there. I think I have a different platform that will align with certain people, and that is better for those people. Whether or not you think I'm better is a different question. But if you have questions after that, Josh, there's actually a way to schedule a meeting with me, and we can do this with just me and you. Well, it'll be public, but me and you. It won't be with Taylor, unless Taylor wants to be there. Anyway, getting distracted. Ian, Taylor can hear you, but let's stop.
Oh,
He's looking at the monitor and like trying to talk to you.
sorry.
Yeah. Uh, no, no, I know. I think you're talking to somebody else, so I'm gonna skip over. If you're talking to me, please let me know because it doesn't sound like you are. Let's see. Argument is that he's not one of the. Oh, the argument is that he's not one of the current candidates. I mean, I am a candidate. You can check Ballotpedia. You can check Activote. Um, you can look up my filing with the state if you want to do it that way. Do whatever you want. But I am running as a candidate, as an independent. It's a write-in campaign, but I am a candidate running for governor. Uh, so somebody mentioned Jake is, I guess, trying to answer a question. I'll answer that. He's not bought and paid for by lobbying. Is actually trying to help citizens. 100%. So like anybody's not aware, like it's weird that our current incumbent Kay got $2 million from a single donor, a single out-of-state donor, and it is the largest donation to one of our governor campaigns in history by a magnitude of 4. Right, like 4. Like the largest one before that was like $500,000, and now it's $2 million for the incumbent. Like something's weird's going on, and nobody who's involved directly wants to talk about it. So, Rebecca, are you talking about my pronouns? It would be he, him. Oh, Mother Turkey, I'm not one of the current main party candidates. Correct. Yeah, I'm running as an independent because I don't believe I don't align with Democratic or Republican. I don't align with either of those parties. We'll say it that way. Yeah, Jake, it has no impact on how she votes. Yeah, that's not how that works. Your other backup said every life should be lived with dignity. Yeah, I've swapped up the background because I'm doing a campaign meeting today. But go Vols. Yeah, I believe every human should live a life of dignity, or be afforded the chance to live a life of dignity. And that's internal and external. It's a little off the campaign meeting, but I don't mind bringing that up because that doesn't seem to be a popular topic. And dignity is not just like external. Like they should be able to live with dignity, like for themselves. Like they would feel dignity, and other people would treat them with dignity. So.
I don't know if you saw, but somebody asked when you decided to run, and I always think that's a good question to answer.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll through. I'm actually on the one right above it. You asked by...
okay, sorry.
No, you're good. Abortion, minimum, I assume you mean minimum wage, healthcare, and the 10-cent gas tax. Abortion, pro-abortion. If you want or need an abortion and you have a uterus, you should get one, so you're good. Minimum wage needs to go up. That's a harder ask. That we literally passed a law 4 years ago to prevent even lower municipalities. Sorry, I keep bumping my mic. Lower municipalities like city and county from raising their own minimum wage. They have to follow the state. And if you're not aware, the state doesn't have a minimum wage. We follow the federal minimum wage. So that's $7.25. So if you wanted someone or some municipality in our state to raise their minimum wage, our state prevented that.
And we've also been fighting for a specifically $15. I know that's a number that's been popular. We've been fighting for a $15 minimum wage for so long that $15 is no longer a livable minimum wage.
Yep.
We can't even get 15.
15
and that's
barely,
now
just for, and the reason we say it's not enough, 15 it would barely cover the cost of living in the cheapest county in our state. Like, and I mean, like, it's pretty close to like break even, which means you're not saving anything. You're not going on vacation. Like, you're literally paying for gas, food, shelter, your utilities, because you have to have utilities to live. But like, it's covering the bare essentials at 15. And that's the cheapest county. So, and that's Franklin County. If anybody wants to go look it up, the cost of living I think is $35,000. Might be 32, but somewhere in that range. But it's
Is that for a four-person family?
No, so the 32 is one person. That is one person. Yeah,
perfect.
32 is one person. Yeah. So Aisha Glass, you asked why I decided to run. It's a good call. I have no problem bringing it up. Taylor mentioned it's important. And October of 2021 is when our current administration decided to earmark or allocate 20% of our COVID funds over to fund building new prisons. So they basically said, hey, COVID, yeah, we're going to take some of that money and we're going to build new prisons with it. And the justification they gave, which is what caught my attention, is they said, well, there's a part of the bill that allocates or says you can allocate these funds for lost revenue. So they built new prisons because the state was low on revenue. And they didn't lie. Like the prison system was operating at a loss, unlike normal, because it's a for-profit system, and they wanted to build new prisons. So they said the quiet part out loud, and the rest of the country went, "I'm sorry, what?" And they went, "Yeah, no, that's what we're doing, and there's nothing you can do about it." So that's where we're at. Rebecca, happy to speak up. The patriarchy sucks, and as a male, I've got to do my part. Fungi. Jeez, fun guy Josh. Sorry. Have you ever held political office before? No. It's also not a requirement to be governor, so just for the record. But I will follow that up with my job, my day job, the thing I do every day. It perfectly aligns with this. My job as a project manager, I am there to facilitate groups of people who have different specialties and understandings of things, get them to come together, work together in conjunction with a client to accomplish a goal. And that very easily translates to government. We have different departments, they do different things, they need to talk together to do the will of the people, the client in that case. So, no prior political experience, but that hadn't stopped anybody from getting elected before. So,
I also want to point out this is to me important, but he's also an Eagle Scout, and the tenets of, well, you're involved in Scouts.
yep.
To me, the tenets of being a Scout,
Trustworthy,
is
loyal,
honesty,
helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Yeah.
You can't always live all of those together, because there are times when you have to be brave and not obedient. Like that, it just that's
right.
And I hate to bring it up. So, civil rights movement, like civil disobedience. You are technically doing something that is not approved by the state, but that doesn't make it wrong, right? So there's it's kind of hard to live by all 12 of those points at all times, but the end goal is to do good for people at all times. I mean, that's a part of another thing. So, so know me now. You said $7.25 hourly. That's the federal minimum. That's not what the state doesn't have one, unfortunately. We literally do not care. And then Mother Trucker, man, we probably ought to get away from comments and get back to strategy, and we'll do that in a second. I enjoy talking to people, so that's why I do these live. Jake, I think, commented first, so but it does mean you have to work a second job without overtime. That helps both companies with their bottom line. Yeah, he's talking about having two jobs and being at minimum wage. Yep. Let's see. At this point, you don't fit anywhere. Party system needs to be dissolved. I would be okay with having parties. I'm okay with that. Having two parties is the problem, because that's asking for a binary when we are not a binary species. So, are there any Alabama corporations or companies you support or make a promise to support? No. I make promises to support people, not companies. Now, if the companies want to support people, then sure, let's talk about it. But I'm not here to support companies. I'm here to support the people.
I want to make a comment to
Sure.
Rebecca Grace. They said, I'm wondering if men, cishet men is a blanket statement, if they're silent because people have told them that their opinion doesn't matter as far as abortion goes. I do want to
see that a lot.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that's like no uterus, no opinion. But I think the difference is that Jared is upholding the individual with the uterus's opinion.
Yeah, and I'm saying that there should be no group of people dictating what they can do and what access to healthcare they should have based on whether or not they have a uterus. I'm not saying what you should do with your uterus. I'm saying you should have the choice to make that, and that includes abortion. So,
but I think when we say, hey, if you don't have a uterus, you don't have an opinion, is when that person is trying to control the uterus.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. But we can go back to strategy.
Yeah. There's a couple of questions coming through. I don't think I answered everybody's, and I'm really sorry. I will do another live where we're just back and forth chatting. I was going to say, the intent of this meeting is to do campaign strategy, and I let myself get distracted because I enjoy talking to you guys, for real. So let's do another meeting or another live. I'll do those. I might do it tonight if Saturday night's a good time for everybody. I can do it later tonight and do that. Just keep an eye out. Follow the page. A little shameless plug.
Or you can always email.
Yeah, you can use the feedback form on the website, and I can do my best to create content that talks about that, and that way it's available for everybody. Anyway.
Okay, so I've got written down bulk buy merch so that people can bulk buy and then either give out or, you can say, hey, give me the cost back. And then I've got reach out to the queens.
Reach out to the queens. I love it.
Reach out to the queens. Um, I'm thinking, so I've given you several TikTok video ideas, Geraldine.
Yeah, I need to record those.
Mm-hmm. And I
Smith actually,
definitely,
Smith Hannah brings up a good question. Are we discussing how to go viral? I don't think you can intentionally do that because people have tried, including myself, and only one of those worked, and it was a fluke idea off the middle of the night. So, um, if you have ideas that you think would spread quickly, yes. In fact, the feedback form on the website is probably your best bet for that right now, because the TikTok comments they're not going to let you comment effectively your ideas. But Hannah, yes. Now, if um, you only have 108, so you can't come on TikTok, which wouldn't be beneficial because Taylor can't hear you. I tell you what, like literally, if you go to the website linked in my bio and go to the events and meetings tab, there's a Google Meet link. Like you can literally jump on the meeting with us and we can discuss that.
also, anytime Jared says go to the feedback form, it is not a brush off.
No, I
He is
mean
just,
those come to
he
me.
is,
Taylor doesn't even say
yeah.
those. Those come to my email. Now I end up sharing them with Taylor and anybody else on the team who wants to give input, but those come straight to me. Like this, I
Okay.
don't think people understand that this is not a typical political campaign. Like that's why we're streaming our meetings live. Like I'm not trying to hide anything from you. And if I don't represent you, then don't vote for me. That's fine. Like there are two other governor candidates, potentially three, if the Libertarian Party gets their act together and ends up on the ballot, then you'll have four to choose from. So if I don't represent you, don't vote for me. That's fine.
Somebody said, why bother if you don't answer hard questions? So go Vols, if you can hear us, what hard questions did Jared not? I'm just curious.
No, I mean
Um,
I'm happy to answer hard questions. This is literally a campaign strategy meeting. It's not to answer like policy questions. I got distracted, and that's on me. And I'm owning up to my mistake. I shouldn't have let that happen, and we are getting back on track. So, if you want to ask hard questions, use the feedback form, or catch me on another live that isn't a strategy meeting. Well, sorry, a specific campaign
okay.
meeting. Anyway, yeah. So
He says, is it getting, go ahead. I'm going to,
oh,
he says he's,
Gov or GovAlls, it probably. Like I'm not blocking words, but TikTok does. So depending on your keywords, it might get blocked. That is a very good possibility.
okay. He said something, um, about living a life with dignity.
I asked that earlier, or I answered that earlier. If you missed it, like I believe everybody should have the opportunity to live a life of dignity, meaning internally, they feel dignified in their own life, but also other people treat them with dignity. So, and that has a broad scope, but that's why I like it. Nomi asked earlier. You asked if I was on other social media platforms. Yes, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and they should all be linked on.
Now I see his question, and it's is getting killed before birth a dignified life? You know, you don't even have a consciousness at that point. So,
no, so here, Go Vols, I'm going to give you the opportunity to stop now, or I will just mute you for the rest of the live. I'm not going to block you, but I will mute you because like that's not based in reality. I'll say it that way. So. All right, strategy. Let's see. Somebody commented. I want to make sure I'm missing anything. Yeah.
Aisha said, have you considered ways to involve students?
I have tried to reach out to student organizations, and I will admit that was during the petition phase where I was trying to get people to do like literal boots on the ground activist like canvassing, and that was not received well for whatever reason. Most of them were, hey, I thought we could do this digitally, and that was partially true. The state doesn't like it, so it wasn't the focus. But they weren't a huge. The ones that I heard from weren't a huge fan of trying to get out and physically do something for whatever reason. So, that I would love more involvement from 18 to 24-year-olds because they generally, from what I've heard, are wanting to change our state, and it's their future more so than the 70, 80-year-olds that are currently in power. So I definitely want to get in touch with them. Town halls would be great. If somebody wants to get them scheduled. I'm going to let the chat on TikTok handle Go Vols. If it gets outrageous, let me know and I'll mute. But it sounds like they're actually trying to have a discussion. I'll let you guys do that because I want to keep focused on strategy. Yep.
Yeah, you can. If it does get out of hand, guys, you can tag me. I'm Professor Gemini, and I can mute him.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, and we don't block.
Okay, so
Just muting so you can chill out and
yeah.
come back next time. All right, so strategy. Yeah, we can reach out to student organizations. We started building a list of those, and I don't think that got finished before we reorganized. So that is something we could build back up. So this is where I'm going to ask for volunteers, right? So if that's something that you know enough about and understand kind of the organizations that would be open to doing something like this, I would love your help. So if you want to volunteer some time, I can't offer you any money currently, shoestring budget, like I mentioned earlier, but I'm not going to overwork you. Like I will ask you how much time you can offer, and then just do that. Like if it's an hour a week, that's great. Like if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. I'm not going to try and overwork you though. Like that's something I refuse to do, and I'll respect that. I'll say that. So in the volunteer form, we literally ask like, hey, what days are you available? How much time are you available? Like, and that's intentional. So if you can help, we would greatly appreciate it. Moving forward, physical canvassing is still something we want to get done. We need to get people who are willing to walk around their cities and neighborhoods to talk to their neighbors and literally just start conversations and try to get them to open up to the idea of third-party voting because it's a state election. We're not talking about the presidential election. Like that's actually that's a legitimate concern that I understand on the presidential election side, being concerned about spending your vote on a third party. I still think it's a good idea because we need to tell the Democrats and Republicans that like, hey, no, you're doing a bad job. You have bad candidates. We don't believe in them. But I understand the concern about, quote unquote, throwing a vote away or the spoiler factor or whatever you want to call it. But on a state election, it's literally a popular vote. So, if we get enough people, it literally happens. So, but we need to be talking to people. So, if you are willing to talk to your neighbors, walking around the neighborhood and just saying like, hey, where do you stand? How do you feel about the current candidates? And then present some information. I will have that pre-written and ready for you to go. You don't have to like come up with that on your own. The other pitch typically is if they are interested, it would be asking about the yard signs. And that's where that $10 donation comes in. Each person donates $10. You find 16 people, order signs, and then put them out in yards. So that's one of the things we're trying to do more. We just need people who are willing to head that up in their little group, right? So not looking for everyone to try and go out into their neighborhoods, but one person in each neighborhood would be ideal. And by neighborhood,
also,
I mean smaller neighborhoods. There's one in our area that would literally take 100 people to cover the neighborhood. But
and also, we are not asking you to talk to your racist Trump uncle.
no, if you know that they're
Um,
nowhere near, like, if you don't know them, open the door. Have them start that conversation. But the way the pamphlet or the guide that we'll give you will be phrased, it will start the conversation, right? And if you can tell it's heading right, not correct, but heading to the right, then you can say like, hey, have a great day. You've got a candidate to choose from, whatever. Make sure they're registered to vote because we want everybody to vote, whether they're going to vote for me or not. And then move on. Like we're not trying to convince people. Like I'm not here for that, right? We had 1.4 million people who were registered to vote in 2020 who didn't cast a ballot. And we're going to compare that, and I've said this a lot recently, but people need to understand this disparity. 1.4 million registered voters didn't vote compared to 950-ish thousand straight ticket Republican votes and 560 or 540, whatever it is, straight ticket Democratic votes. There were 1.4 million that didn't get cast. So like I'm not here to convince Republicans or Democrats to vote for me. I'm not here for it. Now, if they hear me and resonate with what I'm saying and vote for me, that's awesome. I'll take it. But we're not trying to convince them. We don't have time for that. I think they should be educated on why they're voting against themselves, but we don't have time for it. It's too close to election. I know November's months away. It's 132 days or something. I have the countdown on the website on the homepage, but it's let's see what it says. Hold on. I figured I'd check it. 136. Just kidding. So we have 136 days until November 8th. So that's we don't have time to convince people. if you want to, you can do it on your time, but I have other things I have to focus on. So, uh, yeah, so literal boots on the ground in neighborhoods. If you know anybody or if you want to, fill out the volunteer form. We'll get you a script, so to speak, to run off of. And the only other caveat there is we want you to come with 2 people. We're doing this safely. You do not need to be going door to door with one person. Go with at least 2 people, and that way there's someone there to back you up in case we don't know who you're talking to, right? We don't always know. But
I also made a doc of like strips of paper that you can cut up and either put on cars. Is that something people still do, or pass out or something like that? So if you want those little miniature flyers,
yeah,
I can put that as a resource.
yeah, and we're getting some. We've got some funding in from yesterday. People are super frustrated with the decision, so they're donating a little bit just on that point. Excuse me. So, if you don't have access to a printer when you sign up as a volunteer, just let me know, and we will find some way to print some stuff off for you. I'm not here to be flashy and fancy. Like I'm okay with things being black and white, just a sheet of paper that's like, hey, here's what he believes in. If you're interested, here's the website. If you can donate, cool. If you can volunteer, awesome. If not, just mention his name to other people. I am not trying. I'm not trying to be a typical politician. Like, that's not what I'm here for. So Jake did bring up one point. We were talking about I guess trying to convince other people, and this kind of proves my point, or not proves my point, it goes along with what I was saying. I'm not here to convince people, but if they hear what I believe and then they align with that, like, continue the conversation 100%. But we're not here to I don't want you as a volunteer to feel like you have to stand up for what I'm saying. Like, if you're comfortable doing that, please do, but not during your canvassing time, because to be realistic, from what I've done personally and what everyone else has said, it's aligned. You're gonna interact with about 30% of the people you're hoping to. So if you're gonna hit 100 houses, you're gonna see 30 of them roughly. That's we don't. If you have dedicated 3 hours of your time to go talk to houses to try and canvass, I don't want you spending 15 minutes talking to somebody. I'd rather you hit the rest of the houses. And that way, somebody wants more info and wants to talk, we can schedule that and get it taken care of, but not while you're in the summer heat in South Alabama or the Southeast. You're maybe not be in South Alabama. That's where I am. I don't want you sitting in the hot heat having that discussion when you could be moving along and spreading awareness to more people. We can have the conversation, but make sure it's an appropriate time. Anyway, let's see. So we talked about the drag queen bingo. We've talked about physical canvassing from neighborhoods. We've talked about yard signs. We've talked about students. And what else? There's something else we mentioned. I can't remember what it is.
Hold on, I'm responding to Go Falls.
Yep. So this would be a good point in time to say this. If you want to volunteer and you don't want to put your face anywhere, but you want to be helpful in taking notes, we have a Google Doc that's going to be running for these meetings, and we need somebody to take notes. Taylor's handling comments, and I'm the one talking, so it's a little tough for either of us to take those notes consistently, but that would be something you could help with. So if somebody wants to, you're welcome to join in. We'll give you access to the doc, and you can type in notes. So that is another way you can volunteer that is not out in the 103 degree heat. You can help from your chair. Let's see. We have about 13 minutes. Taylor, is there anything else you wanted to talk about strategy-wise specifically?
Let me write down the flyers, flyer resource.
Okay.
So, and somebody said students, and I am.
Yeah, so student organizations is what we want to look for, and we've got to find the organizations that would be open to having an independent talk to them, or present at a let's say it's a sorority or what's the other version? Hold on.
Do you want me to say it, or do you want me to wait on you to
You can
figure
say
it out?
It's fine.
Fraternity.
Fraternity. There you go. If there's a sorority or a fraternity that has like a meeting and they want to have me come talk, that's great. That's anything like that's fine. We just got to find the ones that are willing to have an independent come and talk, because the ones that I've been reaching out to, were not open to it for whatever reason. So it's unfortunate. It was also asking for petition signatures and things, so I need to reach out to those people again. Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to recap for people who are still listening, or just tuning in. So if you want or can get a group of people together, and if you want to bulk buy either bumper stickers, or if you want to bulk buy yard signs or anything like that, pool your funds and you can bulk buy, 200 yard signs, and go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was going to say the bumper sticker thing. So nobody has really shown the interest in the bumper stickers. So if you want to, we can do them, but we have to order a minimum quantity. So it's kind of, if you're just wanting a bumper sticker, it's super cost prohibitive. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Rebecca,
well,
t-shirts. We had a package available. We were trying a couple things in a package for a t-shirt, a bumper sticker, and a yard sign, and like 2 or 3 people signed up for it. It wasn't enough to order that initial order. I like the idea, but I feel that some people are hesitant to just wear. Oh, see, Rebecca, I already have that shirt. I can get those reprinted. My concern was people didn't want to wear a shirt with my face on it, and like I understand that concern. But if you are serious, I have a design, and if you have a local T-shirt company who will print one for you, I will just give you the design and they can make one for you. Like
I was about to say,
I have no problem doing that. But I've not had enough interest in buying them, so I haven't.
Or if somebody has a Cricut.
Yeah, if you've got a Cricut that prints the color transparencies, I do an iron-on. Be careful because those can get wonky real quick. But yeah, like I'll send you the design. Rebecca, hit me up and I'll shoot you the file that you can just have printed. It's not going to be it's unlikely that you'll get a true screen printed shirt as a one-off. If it's a local company, they may work with you, but it's going to be cost prohibitive typically. But yeah,
get a group of people together.
Yep. Now, if you want to get a group of people together, I will facilitate getting those T-shirts made. We have somebody ready. I just haven't had enough interest. It's been shown to me. I'll say it that way.
Also, I have reaching out to the queens for bingo.
Yep.
If anybody else has any lower cost ways to get an ad in, like a pamphlet or something like that, reach out to the feedback form and let us know, and we can reach out to them. And then if you feel like handing out small pieces of paper with his information on it, as far as in groups or on cars or whatever, we'll have that flyer as a resource. If you need it printed, if you don't have access to a printer, or if you can't afford to pay the ridiculous price of having shit printed, that's why I bought a printer. It's because I looked up printing prices and I was like, F this.
Yeah, we bought a laser printer because
that's what I
purchased.
Kept
drying up on us. So
yeah.
I can only do black and white currently. I can go somewhere and get it printed, but like so I have a history, or I have a degree in commercial art and computer graphics, and as soon as you start getting color involved, you have to be considerate of certain things, but then you also it could be more distracting to have a bunch of color, because then it makes things harder to follow. So having it in black and white and using that intentionally can actually be really helpful, because you can make sure you draw the attention to certain places based on font sizes and things like that. But anyway,
Color Redacted asked if you were going to be at the Pride picnic tomorrow. Where is that?
Color, you're going to have to remind me where that is, because I live in Daphne, so if it's in this area, and depending on the time, I probably can. Oh, Mobile 12 to 4. I will do my best to be there. So I'll have to bring my 5-year-old, which I don't mind bringing him, but 12 to 4 might be too long for him to hang out in the heat. So I'll try to show up and do a small appearance. Yeah. No, I was making sure it was in my area because I can't keep track of everybody. Some people are up in Huntsville. Like somebody asked yesterday, like, "Hey, you're going to come to the Pride event on Sunday?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, which one?" Because there's not Pride event, um, uh, the abortion protest. And they were like, "Hey, are you going to show up?" And I was like, "I mean, which one? There's lots." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's the one in Huntsville." I was like, "Ooh, nope. I cannot go to Huntsville tomorrow. I wish I could, but my wife is coming back in town, and I need to be here to help get the house ready and be prepared for her to get back. So I can try to go to the Pride event though."
And then reaching out to
You broke up, Taylor.
students.
Do that again. That
Oh
last
no,
part.
I just said reaching out to students as far as volunteering goes.
Yes. Yep.
Like student organizations.
Yep.
And then also I have written down Jared making the TikToks that Taylor told him to make.
Yes. I
have
literally
that.
just need a reminder to look at the scripts or the ideas and then record them. I need that reminder.
Hey Jared,
Right,
look at it.
right now. Okay. We're about 5 minutes
Also,
till
I had
10.
an
Oh, go ahead.
okay. No, I was just gonna say, I think I told you yesterday a YouTube video of some self-defense moves.
Yeah.
In light of Roe v. Wade, because rape is not an exception, and so
Yeah.
people with uteruses, you know, if you're gonna go to jail, don't go for an abortion.
Oh my gosh. Right.
You know,
Uh,
is that should I not have said that? I don't know.
No, well, I'm more worried about the R word you keep using. TikTok's not a huge fan, so we may.
Oh no.
It's
Okay.
There's 15 people in here, and everybody's been chill so far. So it doesn't look like I'm getting reported, which is good. But I don't know how automatic some of that is.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Not your fault. I didn't say it the first 4 times you used it. So
Sorry.
it's all good. I was gonna mention it when we got off. So I do want to say one thing. We have about 5 minutes before the next meeting, which is field organizing. I'm literally going to stop this live. I'm going to stop this live and restart. I'm going to go take a bio break. So I'm going to go take care of that in between meetings. If you want to hear about field organizing, we're going to get a little bit more into the stuff we were talking about earlier with physical canvassing. Come back at 10. And we'll talk about that. And if that's not your thing or you're busy, it should be on my other social media platforms. So, the Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and the Facebook page. So it should be available there to watch after the fact. If you want to join in, you are welcome to go to the website, click on the Google Meet link, and join us to talk about field organizing, as long as you want to actually help with the field organizing discussion. That's my only request, is if you show up,
And
let's keep it on top.
If you want to ask a really hard question, come back to, is it Tuesdays?
Tuesday's policy, so we could try to answer those if we don't have anything specific we're talking about. Yeah.
So come back on Tuesdays.
Yep. Sweet. All right. Well, I'm going to end it, and we'll see you in a bit. We got to take a bio break. That's just how this has to happen. That's
Did you see the last one? I love the idea of a politician needing to have Post-it notes. It feels very authentic.
Yeah. No. So I have ADHD. Like I took my medicine, but it was an hour and a half ago, so it hasn't fully kicked in. And besides, I'm multitasking already, and that's hard enough. So everybody needs help. So we will talk to you soon. Oh, I changed the shape. That's fine. TikTok's being weird. All right, so that's ended.
Are we?